The man stepped into the elevator, his usual routine. The doors closed behind him, and he pressed the button for the 50th floor. The elevator began its ascent, but suddenly there was a jolt, and everything went dark. The man's heart raced as he realized he was stuck. He pressed the emergency button, but there was no response. Panic started to set in as he pounded on the elevator doors, desperate to escape. Minutes turned into what felt like hours, and the man's fear grew with each passing moment. Finally, there was a creaking noise, and the elevator lurched back to life. The man let out a sigh of relief, thinking he was saved. But as the doors opened, his relief turned to terror. Instead of the familiar office floor, he was greeted by a vast, empty void. It looked like hell itself. The man cautiously stepped out of the elevator, his heart pounding in his chest. The void stretched out endlessly in all directions, devoid of any signs of life. A chill ran down his spine as he realized he was completely alone in this nightmarish realm. Suddenly, a flapping noise echoed through the void, and the man looked up to see a grotesque, winged creature descending towards him. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and its sharp claws reached out towards him. The man's instincts kicked in, and he tried to run, but it was too late. The creature grabbed hold of him with its powerful talons and lifted him into the air. As the creature flew higher into the void, the man's fear intensified. He could feel the wind rushing past him, the emptiness below him. It was as if he was being transported to another realm, a realm beyond his comprehension. Finally, they reached the upper part of the void, where a figure sat on a throne. It was a creator, a being of immense power. The man trembled as he stood before this entity, feeling small and insignificant in its presence. "You are my slave," the creator's voice boomed, echoing through the void. "I own the planet Earth, and you are nothing but a pawn in my game." The man's mind reeled with disbelief. How could this be? It felt like a nightmare, a twisted reality that he couldn't escape. He mustered up the courage to speak, his voice trembling. "I don't believe you," the man said defiantly. "I won't accept that I'm just a pawn in your game." The creator's eyes narrowed, and a sinister smile crossed its face. "Very well," it said. "If you wish to defy me, then you shall suffer the consequences." With a wave of its hand, the winged creature swooped down and grabbed hold of the man once again. It carried him high into the air, and then, without warning, released its grip. The man plummeted towards the ground, his screams drowned out by the howling wind. As he crashed to the ground, pain shot through his body, and everything went black. When the man woke up, he was lying on the floor of the elevator. His heart raced as he realized it had all been a dream, a horrifying nightmare. He stumbled out of the elevator, his legs weak and trembling. The next day, the man hesitated as he approached the elevator. The memories of his nightmare still haunted him, but he couldn't let fear control him. He stepped inside, and to his horror, there was only one button. A chill ran down his spine as he pressed the button, and the elevator began its ascent. The air grew colder, and a sense of dread washed over him. He knew that he was about to embark on another terrifying journey, one that would test his sanity and his will to survive. The doors opened, and the man stepped out into the void once again. The winged creature awaited him, its eyes gleaming with malevolence. He knew that there was no escape, that he was trapped in this nightmarish cycle. As the creature lifted him into the air, the man's screams echoed through the void, unheard by anyone but himself. He was trapped in a never-ending nightmare, a pawn in a game he could never win. And so, the man's fate was sealed, condemned to relive his terrifying ordeal for all eternity. The end.